Hey guys, it's Chelsey. I have no makeup on today. Don't judge. I think it's important to, like, as a YouTuber, being a woman and whatnot, to make videos with makeup, without makeup, just to show that it doesn't really matter. And so anyway, I'm not trying to be like, I'm making this big statement, but anyway, I'm just not wearing makeup, and I don't think it should be a big deal that I'm not. I just don't feel like wearing it today, so yeah. Anyway, today I don't know if I'm actually going to put this up, but if you're watching this, then I put this up. I want to tell a story time about a time that I really messed up, and it is going to have to do with marijuana. It is going to have to do with me having an edible, which is when you take weed and put it in brownies, cookies, things like that, and you eat it. And so it is going to have to be dealing with that. Sorry, it's early, I can't talk. But so depending on how you feel about marijuana, like, I don't want any hate or anything like that. Like, I'm literally telling this story just for more advice driven. You can feel how you want to feel about marijuana and weed and legalization or not, what have you. Please feel the way you want to feel. This is just a story time, not even for really entertainment purposes, but to just be a warning to you guys that if you're gonna start messing around with stuff, like, just please be careful. And I'm going to tell this story but give advice along the way of where I sort of messed up, because it was one of the top scariest moments of my whole life. And I've been debating making this, depending, if I don't know who's gonna see it, but I think it is important to make it because I learned a lot from it. I'm glad I went through it. I'm glad I survived it. But yeah, so that's what it's going to be involving. And I actually got inspired because Shane Dawson, which you guys probably know here on YouTube, has a podcast. I listen to it religiously. Now you can actually watch it, which is pretty cool. And I was listening to it, and the very beginning he's talking about his weed brownie story, and I was like, wow, I have an edible cookie story, and it went so bad. And it just kind of inspired me to just, wake up, tell it, make it advice driven, and just go from there. So please, no hate. This is not having to do with pro or no to marijuana. That's not what this has to do with. I just want to give an advice driven story. Okay. So this is about a year and a half ago. And a year and a half ago, did I just say that? A year and a half ago. And I have grown a lot since then. I've definitely grown up a lot. This is right when I moved back from college, moved back home. So it was that summer, what have you. I think it was in the summer. I don't know. Anyway, it was a while ago. And so basically all my friends that go to different colleges were back in town as well. And my one friend in particular, we had shared stories about our experiences with marijuana and weed and things like that. Just, have we done it? Have we not? Shit like that. And basically she told me that one of her friends was in town that could get us an edible. And here's the thing. When it comes to edibles, I mean, honestly, if you're not making it yourself, you're taking a risk. I mean, even when you're just smoking weed, you're taking a risk when you don't, unless you really trust that person. Like, you honestly have no idea. I'm pretty sure that girl lied to us. She said she made it herself. I feel like she got it from somewhere else, because there had to be something else in that shit, because that was insane. I mean, we did take too much, like, I'll tell you in a minute. We did overdo it, but it was like another level. But maybe there was just weed in it. Maybe, we got what we deserved as far as, our mistakes we made. But anyway, you don't know. So please, if you're going to try marijuana, just please trust the person you're getting from. Really trust when they say that, they got it and it's from their trustworthy supplier, what have you, that is the truth, and that they did not just buy it from some random person, because you have no idea. They can lace it with God knows. And yeah. So anyway, she told me her friend was in town that could get us an edible, and I had been really stressed out at work because I had just moved back home. I'm trying to figure out what I want to do, but I needed a job so I could have some money. So I was just really stressed. So I was like, yeah, let's do it. So our plan was we were going to eat the edible at Chipotle. We were going to eat our Chipotle because, weed makes you really hungry. So we're like, perfect. We'll be at Chipotle having a good time, and then we'll just kind of see where the day takes us. But that was honestly just our plan. We're supposed to eat it, be at Chipotle, and then leave Chipotle and go home. Like, it would be a good time. Anyway, so she gives me the baggie at Chipotle and I eat it. And here's where we went wrong. I ate the whole thing. It was a cookie. It wasn't a brownie, so it's not as big, but it was just kind of like a little Chips Ahoy looking type deal. And it tasted like weed, but it didn't taste very strong. But anyway, I ate the whole thing. Now, here's the thing. If you're going to do an edible, please start with the smallest amount, like just a little bit, and just build itself up. If you're not feeling high, then maybe have more, but please do not eat more than half at all because of anything, because that's where we went wrong. I had known so many people that have told me, don't do a whole edible, don't do a whole edible, but I never listened. I didn't hear that advice in my mind when I was eating the whole edible. I was like, fuck it. We were told that they weren't that strong, that they were pretty mild, so I was like, yeah, like this is just gonna make us feel good, make us hungry. We're gonna have our Chipotle, it's gonna be good. So we're eating at Chipotle, and it's not till about the end of the meal, because I remember I was getting a refill, where I start feeling it. And I never reacted like this before, but I started to feel like everyone was watching me. Like, we got water cups and we're putting soda in them. I don't do that anymore. That's just so like wrong. Like, I feel like I'm cheating the company out of money, and it's just so stupid not to pay like, you know, $1 or whatever. So I don't do that anymore, but she kind of encouraged me to do that because she was cheap too. And so I'm like putting my water cup and I'm feeling soda, and I'm like, oh my God, I was like freaking out that like the workers were I was gonna like get in trouble. And I told her that. She was like, girl, calm down. I was like, I'm not freaking out, I'm just saying. So things were starting to get weird, a little fuzzy, and we're really starting to feel it. Like, I'm very like laid back. I'm like, things are just vibing at this point. So then we both drove ourselves separately, and all of a sudden it starts to kind of hit us pretty hard, and we're like, we need to get out of here or else we're gonna be in Chipotle all day. It's gonna be weird. So there was a Target down the road, so we're like, let's drive to Target. That drive to Target was rough, and I really put myself, I put other people in danger, because I should not have been driving. I was very loopy. I was holding onto the wheels, and weed does make you more focused, but when you're so gone on it, you're not focused. Like, you're just like dazed. And that was the hardest drive. And I pull up next to her, she's like, that was the hardest drive of my life. I was like, I know, like, what's going on? This is when shit goes down, okay? We are in the Target parking lot for like 3 hours. Okay, that's a long time in a hot ass car, because we didn't want to waste her gas. So we're just laid back, and like, I thought I was gonna have to go to the hospital. This is not funny, you guys. I had, because I'd ate the whole thing, my brain function, or I'm not entirely sure what happened, was so slowed down that me swallowing, I thought I was choking. Like, if I were to like scratch, I would like scratch it and I wouldn't feel it till like 5 minutes later, and I'd be like, what's burning? Like, it started out so fun and relaxing, and it went so downhill so fast. And like, I thought I was choking, and later, after I had gotten my mind back together, I'd realized that it was just from me swallowing, where that moment when you swallow, it was so delayed that I felt like I was choking for a long time, and I felt like my throat was closing up, and it was really, really bad. And I felt bad for my friend, because, you know, I wanted her to enjoy her time, you know, being high, but I was freaking out. And there was like an ambulance and that was like on the road, and I was like, they're coming to get us, they're coming to get us. And I was like, Sam, should I call my parents? Like, I don't know. And I don't want you guys to think that I'm some like crazy, you know, like not a good time when I'm like high or something. But it was just that much. Like, I had had my experience with marijuana before, and I'd always been chill and fine and having a good time, and, you know, just laid back like most people. But because it was so bad, like, I thought my throat was closing up, and I'm like here with this girl who's like out of it too. Like, I thought I was gonna die. And it's one of those things where your mind will kind of be going crazy, but your body is just not. Like, your body is just like vegetable. Like, we're laid back, and I'm just like, Sam. And it wasn't the experience, it wasn't the laid back talking about the stars and life and shit that I thought it was gonna be. It was laid back, could not move my body, thinking I was fucking dying, and I wanted to call my parents so bad, but luckily she told me not to. She was like, don't, and I listened to her, and thank God I did. Anyway, so we are in the Target, and there's lots of other stuff. There's like a yogurt place and all this stuff in this plaza. So finally, after like a couple hours, we're like, okay, we need to walk around. The sun's starting to go down. We're like, we need to walk around. We need to do something. You guys, I was so loopy, and I was walking around Target, and we looked so bad. Like, my eyes had never been bloodshot like that before. Like, I'd never experienced that with, you know, my experience with weed and stuff. My eyes were fucking red, like red. And I was like, Sam, I think I just need to go home. She's like, look at yourself. She puts me in a mirror. I didn't even recognize myself, you guys. Like, my eyes were red. My body was like pale. And I was just like I didn't even, like, I didn't know who I was fucking looking at. Like, that's so sad. And it was insane. And walking, I couldn't feel my legs. We're trying to walk around Target because I was just like, I need to get some fresh air. Like, I just sitting in that car was just making things worse. I was getting really paranoid. You know, every move I made, every breath I took was just like, ugh. So we're walking around the Target. I couldn't feel my legs. Everyone's looking at us because we look fucked up. Like, we look fucked up. I had no idea what I was talking about. Like, I was talking about fucking, I was like, what the fuck is going on? And she's like, I don't know what the fuck's going on. And everyone's looking at us. And I was so embarrassed. I was in my work clothes. So I was like, oh my God, is someone gonna recognize me? Like, this could be awful. It was just rough. And so that happened, and then there were some chairs outside of the yogurt place, so we sat out there and we were just fucked up. Like, we're just laying there like, ugh, just embarrassments to fucking society. Ow, I just hit myself. And I just looked so bad. Like, it was so bad. And I don't know, I was like, I need water. Like, I got the worst cotton mouth, you guys. Like, I could not fucking... It was terrible. So I was like, I need a water, but I couldn't even get my shit out of my purse to buy water. Like, it was that bad. So I'm just like, hashtag dying. And so we're out there, we're laying, and she's like, let's go back to the car. So we go back to the car, and you guys, we were probably in this Target for like 5 to 6 hours, okay? It is now dark out. I'm like, what the fuck? People have been parking next to us looking at us, and I just didn't even give a fuck. I was like, ugh. Dying. And then finally we decided that, okay, we need to go home. That our eyes were okay enough. They weren't the best. And I came home and I went to bed. Luckily all my parents and stuff were asleep, and I went to bed, and I was still fucking high, you guys. Like, as I was laying down, my head was spinning, just spinning. I was like, oh my God. And I'm texting Josh the whole time, and this is right before we broke up. So, and he wasn't being very nice about it. So yeah, but anyway, so yeah, that was pretty much my experience. But yeah, that high lasted, I mean, up until I went to bed. So it's like almost a 10-hour high or something. It was insane, and I should not have ate the whole thing, but man, like, you cannot, and she told us it was so mild. I'm like, what the fuck did you put in this thing? Like, anyway, so that was my experience with an edible. You guys, please, if you're gonna like smoke or do weed or like, you know, do edibles, just please get it from a reputable person. Do not do it by yourself. Please have someone else there, preferably someone else who isn't high, so that way they can like take care of shit. But and just be responsible and don't do too much. Do not eat a whole edible. You know, honestly, if you do feel like you need to go to the hospital, fucking call, because honestly, I thought I was dying. I literally thought I was dying. I thought my throat was closing up. I could not breathe. It was hard for me to breathe, and looking back on it, it was just delayed reactions. It was like when I would take my breath, I'd be like, and I wouldn't feel that till like a minute later, and then I'd think I was suffocating. Like, it was just so bad, and my body was just so and delayed. And just please, you guys, please be careful. I love you. I'll see you next time, and bye-bye.